So this is a almost unedited part of the court. The only things I have edited are black screens where I am, tabbed out doing something that isn't related to the court, and I have cropped the video down so it is more focused. Keep in mind I'm kind of scatterbrained here, and I look at the wrong thing sometimes, just don't worry about that. That's just me being a little silly guy, so if you wanted to watch the entire thing, go ahead, watch it. Do it, get popcorn, sit down. There's gonna be a 2-hour court case.
Hello, everyone. See, you've all made it. Wow, this is a very highly publicized trial. I like it. We have oh my god.
I'm in between stops right now, so I'm going to need you to do the allowing of
All right,
people.
I'll lead the charge. All right. 3 lawyers. Okay. All right, 1 minute until we begin. All right. Final moments for everyone to put their evidence together, both the plaintiffs and the defendant. Unless you are a counsel for the defendant and plaintiff, please put your hand down so that I know who's representing who. Thank you. All right, so she started the green rocket. All right. All right, we will start. So, as you all know, this case, as has been previously mentioned, is a ticket between the plaintiff, Deimos Knox, and the defendant, Field Marshal Skepter Tavernick, on the basis of high treason and corruption. And in that process, I believe that the plaintiff is wishing for him and his Bavarian and anyone who was banned by Skepter's action, and that ban to be lifted. So, having said that, we will start the floor with a Deimos Knox and his lawyers. Deimos, if you have a lawyer, please DM me. Hold on 1 second. Deimos, you have the floor.
Yeah, can you bring up Lacusa and Patrick?
All right.
Thank you. Also, before we begin, can I post all links in general chat so everybody in this community can see?
I'll give you the proof channel. I'll give you guys roles 1 second. Who's Lacusa? Oh, a cat, right? That's Lacusa?
Yeah.
All right, Skepter, I'm bringing your lawyers in as well. So, and you. So, Rocket, but make sure you keep yourself muted. So, Rocket, Series, and who else? And Jeremy. Which one is Jeremy?
Jeremy Bueno. He has an S.
Skype logo.
And his PFP.
It's one of the Skype people.
The S logo? All right, cool. Very well. Just a reminder of courtroom rules. Do not, if you have speaking privileges, do not speak unless it is to raise an objection while the other side has the floor. and please do not interrupt them until they finish unless the basis does stand on objection. Having said that, let me give you the role of plaintiff, and Skepter will get the role of defendant. Very well, you may begin.
Where are these channels? Oh, evidence proof.
Yeah.
All right. So before we begin, I want to say that this proof has been compiled for a long time, and the reason it's surfacing now is because I just learned of it and I just got this proof. Had I known about it sooner, Skepter would have been reported a lot sooner. So first, I'll post my evidence against Skepter. You can see it in proof. If everybody would open it up so I can walk you all step by step. Now, I will read everything out to you guys, but you can also read along. So first, I'll read the opening statements. So here is everything that needs to be known about Skepter Tavernick's planned coup against our Emperor Caleb, and the reason we need to remove him of his rank and ban him from the Holy Roman Empire. And I'll give a brief explanation to this before we begin. So, before the Imperial City update, Skepter Tavernick formulated a plan to remove Caleb from his position as game owner through a very sinister
Objection.
way. Skepter's plan. Okay.
Oh, hold on. Skepter, what's the objection?
It's corrupt.
The screenshot, you say?
All of them. Every single screenshot. It's all inadmissible.
What my client means to say is that all the evidence is unsubstantial due to the fact that all evidence provided has been cropped images, and as stated in the past by Senior Judge Bayek Alamat, if I will bring up the exact quote now from him, we need to see an entire screenshot, be from phone or PC, for us to accept screenshots as evidence. Cropped photos and altered pictures won't be accepted.
So I can prove that these screenshots happen as I have unedited screenshots, and I have.
All right, go ahead.
And
Please provide that.
And I have Pandas Doria, confirming and vouching for this coup, and I even have a screenshot of an unedited screenshot of their DMs, which is later in the document. If I would be allowed to show all of the screenshots first.
Okay.
If you scroll down to the fourth page, you can see that these are real screenshots. They aren't fake. I have side-by-side comparisons. I have Panda's DMs. I have more than that. These screenshots were taken before a Discord update, which provides a timestamp on very old screenshots. So as you can see in the first set of screenshots, there isn't that timestamp. Now, if you go down to the fourth page, you'll see the screenshot Pandas provided me has those timestamps. So I believe that is enough proof to prove that these screenshots were real, especially since Pandas was the other accomplice in this coup. You can review them and, give me your answer on whether or not I can use them or not.
And you say you can provide the unedited versions as well?
Yes, it's in the doc. The unedited version's in the doc. You can clearly see where that is on the fourth page. That was a recent DM with Pandas that was 2 days old. And he's screenshotting his old conversations. If you look closely, you can see that his screenshot has the same date, but the difference is the time. It says at 5:25 p.m. And if you scroll up to the first set, that is before the Discord update. So that just further confirms the proof.
Again, Your Honor, this evidence is still a piece of crop material from the DMs between Deimos and Pandas. So it is still.
It may be cropped, but it is 100% real and it's confirmed real by the said screenshots down below. I can even go to my DMs with pandas right now and take an unedited or uncropped photo of this if you wish.
We will. You can continue, Demos. You can
Okay.
continue.
All right, so I'll start from the top again. So before the Imperial City update, Skepter Tavernick formulated a plan to remove Caleb from his position as game owner through a very sinister way. Skepter's plan was to basically kill the entire game, destroy the knighthood by making it inactive to try and convince Caleb to sell the game. However, this was not his only option. His other plan was that if Caleb would not sell the game, he would want Caleb to take a step back from HRE and let him or one of his accomplices take over his role, while Caleb played a supervisor role. Below you can see all the proof in regards to this case, and the reason we cannot trust any decision made by Skepter and why he needs to be removed and banned. So the first part, the coup and 4 screenshots. In the first screenshot, it is the start of the conversation between Pandas and Skepter. Now, you can notice very similar or very distinct differences between the proof that I used to provide from the PFP to the timestamps, which I proved makes this real. So I'll now read what the first screenshot says. So he engages Pandas and he says, I know this is something you'd likely want to do, but let's say after the update, depending on its quality, the knighthood coups. Now hear me out. That was the first screenshot. Now in the screenshot below, you can see Skepter saying, Caleb is a lapdog with the brain of a pea, which further reinforces the idea that he thought he could get Caleb to take a step back or to sell the game. He thought
Objection, Your Honor. Objection.
Go ahead.
I didn't say that.
Your Honor,
In the
it's in the screenshot.
In the screenshot, there's nothing of me saying that.
Your Honor,
Just-
if you look
false.
in the screenshot right below that, one of the messages that Panda responded to, can't we use that to our advantage? You can see it clearly says, Caleb is a lapdog with the brain of a pea.
Where?
Where?
So you see the first screenshot, the thing that says, I know this is something you like and want to do?
Yeah.
Go to the one right below that. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 7th message from Panda. He's responding to Skepter's message that says, Caleb is a lapdog with the brain of a pea. And Panda responds with that, can't we use that to our advantage?
Where?
I just told you where. Do you see it, DT?
Can you point me on the right page? Sorry, this is.
Can I just? I'll just paste the
Your Honor,
screenshot.
my client did not see this. I do agree with Deimos here that it was said on page 2, top image. It does say that.
Yeah. Can you see that? I just posted it in proof. You can click on the image. Lord Panda said, "Can't we use that to our advantage?" Which he replied to Skepter saying, "Caleb is a lapdog with the brain of a pea."
I see it now.
It's kind of hard to see on the doc. So if you need me to do anything like that and take the image off the doc to post in Discord, I will do that. But if I may continue.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So that was besides all that, before the objection, I'll start reading the second screenshot. So this screenshot explains actually a lot. So it begins with Pandas explaining how Jenny will be a problem. Like when I changed the tryout system, Jenny got all pissy at me and Caleb defended me. That was the first, sentence. Skepter replies to it, in the grand scheme of things, she is very small. So this is a very large, planned out and coordinated attack on HRE and against Caleb. And it's further reinforced by Skepter saying an overseer, someone like Jenny, a member of the staff team, was a very small part. So anyways, going on further, you can see the part where Skepter says, Caleb is a lapdog with the brain of a pea, and Panda says, can't we use that to our advantage? Which Skepter replies with him, yes, but Caleb is a possible problem as well. Even if he is compliant, if the update is garbage, it doesn't matter what he does. So, from these screenshots, you can really tell that Skepter meticulously planned this out. he wanted to basically cripple the game, to take over, to gain more power, in order to do something, clearly. Whether that's just to have more power in this community, whether that's to get rid of Caleb, that's up for interpretation. Now, let's move on to the next screenshot. He says, this reinforces the idea about him selling HRE. If we drive him to sell HRE, if you believe it's a lost cause, then that's how we do it. And which Pandas responds to, Caleb won't give the group to one of us. Then who will buy it? If they think it's a trash game, no one will buy it. Which Skepter says, I'm saying that he will sell it to another owner of Roblox groups who has the money. There is always someone that will buy something. This further reinforces the idea that Skepter wanted to get Caleb to sell the game or take a supervisory role and place somebody in charge. So that was the ending of the second page, besides the sentence. So the below screenshot, you can see that Pandas wants to help HRE. Instead of just replacing Caleb and possibly making it worse, as he says, I'd rather try to fix what we have right now than to start over to something that might be worse. So if you direct your attention to the third page, you can see where that comes from. So Panda says, because I'd rather try to fix what we have right now than to start over and start over to something that might be worse. So Pandas just wanted the good for HRE. He wanted to improve HRE. That's quite different from what Skepter wanted. Skepter wanted to destroy HRE in order to buy it, or in order to take over it, as
Objection, massive speculation there.
Deimos, don't stick to implication around the evidence. Just, stick to the, please. Thank you.
I understand. Alright, now I'm sure the authenticity of these screenshots will be questions, which they already have, which I have a response to. So not only has Pandas Doria, one of the accomplices in this case, admitted it to me and helped me out with a lot of these screenshots, but also the timestamps, as I have explained. The screenshots above were taken before Discord had their timestamp update, where it showed the time on old messages. So to prove authenticity of these screenshots, I had Pandas go back and screenshot the same area as of 2/1/2023. Also, you can see the profile picture change, as they've changed their profile picture since then. So all the above screenshots have different profile pictures than the ones below, further reinforcing the idea that this was a real coup, that none of these screenshots are photoshopped or anything.
All right, Sorry, Deimos, I'm gonna stop you for a second. People who are in this court case, you are here. Reminder that you are here to listen, not commentate about the case. Cease pinging either the plaintiff or the defendant. And as of this moment, I am going to enact a mute on this channel until further notice. So please just cease speaking. Thank you. Deimos, you may continue.
All right. So moving on to the fourth page. This was the proof that I used to say that these screenshots were real. But I have more proof than this that these screenshots were real. This isn't all I was giving. So you can see the contrast between the two screenshots, as I've said. That is pretty much the whole fourth page. So let's move on to the second part. Panda's confession. Pandas Doria admitted all of this in my DMs and will vouch for the reality of this case if he is asked. Unfortunately, he could not make it to court. However, he has provided me with enough to prove that Skepter is guilty. Originally, Pandas Doria was invited to this coup by Skepter, and although he was asked, Pandas never wanted to go through with it, hence why he stopped being involved in it. Pandas has been a vital player in this case, as he has confirmed my doubts, since he is the other person who was involved in this coup. He was the first to know, so his confession means everything, and without him in this case, it would lack credibility. Therefore, I do not want Pandas punished if the court rules in my favor, as he helped me catch Skepter in his act. Below are screenshots relevant to what I said. So the context for this screenshot is I had Pandas ask what the coup, we're on the 6th page, just in case you are wondering. I had asked Pandas what the coup was about. He didn't seem to remember. assumingly because he hasn't been involved in it for a long time. However, he briefly remembers, such as what he says about Caleb. It lines up with our screenshots above, showing even more proof that this was a real coup Skepter tried to do. And as you can see at the bottom of that screenshot, I asked Pandas, what was your, or rather Skepter's plan with said coup, or whatever it was. And he said, yes, it was Skepter's plan. I was against it. Kind of not answering the question, but I think he was just under a lot of stress in that time. So now we're on to the 7th page. The reason I stress the fact that these screenshots are real is because likely it will be disputed that they aren't, or Skepter might even say that they're meant as a joke. However, if that was the case, Skepter would have not meticulously planned out how they are going to do this coup. And even if it was a joke, such talk or intent or action should be met with the highest repercussions, as they were trying to coup the person who literally owned the game. He owns the game. Skepter is a person who likes to have power. It feeds his ego that he is able to control people.
Speculation.
Stick to the main point, Desmos.
Alright, very well.
Please.
Alright, so more proof provided by Saturn Doria showing that this coup was a real thing that Skepter had intended on going through with. As you can see in this screenshot, everybody should be, I believe this is the bottom of the 7th page, it is him talking to Spytrix. Now, the other person in this coup who was involved and who was invited was Spytrix. So, Des or Saturn Doria asked Spy about it. So he said, so did you talk to Skepter? So you did talk to Skepter. And Spytrix said no. And Des said, thank you for telling me. Not sure what that means, but it goes down further. Where did you get I talked to Skepter from, LMAO? I just had the screenshots a while back. And yes, you proved that they were not fake. Well done. So this is Spytrix's admittance to all of these screenshots being real. I believe that the only 3 people that were involved in this case, or the 3 people that I know of and anybody else knows of, is Spytrix, Skepter, and Pandas. So as you can see in this screenshot, Spytrix admits to the coup being real by saying, and yes, you proved that they were not faked. Well done. Speaking about the screenshots of the conversation between Pandas and Skepters, as well as this screenshot where Spytrix tried to cover up for Skepter, but messing up by saying, why would he admit it, telling us that it is real? And Spytrix was shocked Pandas admitted to it. So we are on the bottom of the 8th page. This was a DM between me and Spytrix where he confronted me before this court case, trying to persuade me into believing this coup was fake and likely, obviously, to defend Skepter. So Spytrix said, the coup screenshots are fake, but you can still use them if you want. I don't care. So I responded, what do you mean they're fake? And Spytrix said, inspect element. And I said, Cap, Pandas admitted it to me. And Spytrix responded, why would he admit? So this is him realizing that he admitted to its authenticity. And after he said that, he deleted his conversation because he realized he just admitted to it.
Objection. The usage of the word admit here appears to be entrapment due to the plaintiff here saying Pandas admitted it to me. Admit doesn't have to specifically mean that it is confirming a crime happening, but instead saying that you admit to something is saying that you are guilty of something. Admit does not confirm if something has actually happened.
Well,
Right.
Your Honor, it is confirming that actually happened. I mean, Panda said it actually happened. And all the above screenshots, you can clearly see that Panda said it happened, and he proved that it happened by providing screenshots to compare. So, I mean, that pretty much sums up that. So, I have this statement on the 9th page, the top of the 9th page. Skepter's blight on HRE. Now, a lot of this can be said as, it's kind of argumentative, so I'll avoid a lot of it. But I want to point out some of the good facts in this sentence.
Demos,
So
you only stick to the facts and not the speculation.
that's why I'm skipping the part that's speculative in this paragraph. So a good instance of Skepter imposing unfair punishment on people is the case of him banning several Bavarians, which we will get to later in this case, for quote unquote corruption that didn't do anything at all, and he didn't have proof to ban them with. One person is Arius Aeschylus. He was banned 3 days ago for the reason of corruption. However, yesterday, Skepter Tabernic got in a call with Arius, and this is Arius's testimony, that he asked Arius to screen share with him, to which Skepter said, after they screen shared, "You're safe," to Arius, saying that he did nothing wrong. If this was the case, why did Skepter ban him in the first place? Now he did this with multiple.
Alright.
The defence would like to request that Arius actually testify that this in court, and rather than not just off of the word of the plaintiff. We're unaware if Arius has actually stated this to the plaintiff or to anyone.
Yes, granted. Witness testimony in cases like this is often not the most reliable. Demos, is Arius here to testify? Or at least confirm that this was said?
Arius, can you raise your hand? I don't know if I don't think Arius has a mic, but he is in this call. How about, can you just talk in general? Can someone unlock general for Arius?
Mingo, unlock channel for him. One of the admin people, please. And thank you.
So as soon as the chat is, can you unlock it for Arius, Mingo?
Arius Aeschylus. Actually, I'll give him the
He doesn't have a mic, so he can't talk in stage VC.
I can give him the plaintiff role, and he can just speak in evidence.
That works too.
All right, Arius, you have the plaintiff role. I'm assuming you can speak in proof to
Arius, now I have a question. Is it true that Skepter Tabernic VC'd with you to get you to show anything that might incriminate us, and then after he saw nothing, he said that you're safe, and simply Aeschylus is safe? Is that true? Alright. So Arius, why, or rather DT, I can't really, I guess Arius, why would he ban you? Why would he ban Simply if he had no proof against you? What is your belief? Why would he do that?
If I may object, that's also speculation. He would have no clue as to why or what Skepter was thinking at this point.
So are we not allowed to ask for evidence when we are banned? And are HICOM not obliged to give that evidence?
Under the law, you are innocent until proven guilty, and if you are indeed guilty, you must be provided with evidence that you are indeed guilty.
So banning somebody would be the result of them being guilty, yes?
Correct.
So Arius, did Skepter give you the evidence to your ban? Yes or no? Alright, that's all, Arius, that's all. So not only was Arius not provided with the evidence of his ban, but neither was anybody else. In fact, the only
Hold on.
Knights Plus are not has been for a long time within the HRE. It has always been the case that they do not need to provide evidence at all times. As a quote from I don't remember who it was, but we looked into this a while back. It was a quote from somebody which is saying that Knights Plus only really need evidence for things such as exploiting, basically things which will result in a response from the staff team.
Yes, I know. It's basically like the small crimes and stuff. Knights Plus and moderators can act on a moment's notice. Having said that, you would still need to provide, at least at the very basis, the reason as to why the ban happened. And yes. Anyways, continue.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
the evidence provided was given to the staff team and into the staff team, and they was able to confirm that it was worthy of a ban. I
However,
believe this happened.
that's not my argument. What I'm saying is Arius and Simply and all the other Bavarians were not
Yeah,
provided with their proof of you banning them, or even an explanation. In fact, almost the entire time, Skepter Tabernic ghosted half of the people.
So how relevance for corruption? How is this? I don't understand the relevance.
I will get to that, Your Honor.
Okay, I will allow Deimos. You can continue. Stick to facts and only facts.
Mhm.
No
All right.
speculation.
So I have to find where I'm at because of all those objections. All right.
I believe you're at the part.
Skeptic
Page 9?
Let me try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
page 9.
yeah. So I've already kind of covered the entire thing with the section of Skepter's Blight. So we can move down to Skepter's unjust bans. Skepter Tabernic has had a long string of history for permanently banning people who either didn't break any rules or did something minor that didn't warrant a permanent ban. And I will list just some of the things he's done, and proving that Skepter is unfairly punishing people to harm the Holy Roman Empire community and to get rid of people who might talk against him and anything. So just one instance of Skepter being corrupt and banning people for unjust reasons start with Lacusa. Lacusa was banned for the reason of breaking TOS, which you will soon see a pattern of. Lacusa was banned for using a server hint command to say sex is all he said, to which Skepter banned him for. Now Ken
Objection, Your Honor. How is that not a permanent ban? Bypassing is going against Roblox TOS. That is an absolute permanent ban.
It's not against TOS, actually.
Yes, it is. Bypassing is against Roblox.
Sex can refer to multiple things, such as the gender of somebody, such as female and male.
Yeah, Roblox still tags it.
Sex is not gender.
Roblox also tags LMAO, which is not against the TOS. And I'm sure if you look it up, sex will not be against the TOS. And if it was against the TOS, Roblox can ban those people for saying that, which never happened.
There are primary and secondary definitions of the word itself, just like how different words can be interpreted differently depending on the context.
But even still,
Your Honor, are you saying that you can say sex within server hints and that isn't a permanent ban?
I'm saying that if the TOS...
I would like to
at least
reply
a justified ban.
I would like to reply to that. Even if it was a justified ban, Roblox would only ban that person if it was bypassing for a set amount of time, say from 3 to 7 days. However, Skepter deemed it his responsibility
We are not Roblox.
to ban them.
Your Honor, I simply used the HRE offense trailer to guide my ban, and it's permanent.
And it is, you believe it is in accordance with a breaking of the HRE rules?
Yes.
Then, very well.
Objection, Your Honor. It's not breaking any HRE rules. I mean, it wasn't breaking TOS, as Ken unbanned him.
Your Honor, Ken appealed
was
him.
The person who unbanned him.
Just because Ken unbanned him doesn't mean that it wasn't a justified ban.
I mean, I would argue against that. Why would Ken instantly unban somebody if it wasn't justified? Is Ken not for justice?
The process of appeals is the point that there were rightful bans which have been appealed, into which they are now, while there were just bans at the time, they have now been appealed and they have now been forgiven for the actions. Some things are unappealable, but in this case, this was, I don't remember the specifics because I wasn't in charge of that. But in this case, that's just not how the appeal system works. The appeal system is forgiving, not righting wrongs.
You said that Ken unbanned, who was it?
It was Lacusa.
Lacusa. I noticed that Ken himself is indeed among this trial. I believe it would be better if we also hear an explanation to why he unbanned.
If Ken wants to speak, I would be glad
Yes.
to.
Would the
hear his
defense
testimony.
grant that? Would the defense be okay with that as well?
The defense is ready to accept the witness.
All right, Ken, can we have your testimony, please? Whether it be, I don't know if you're gone or not, but if you're in text or anything, you have the perms to speak. I will ping him if
He's in VC.
I know he is.
Okay.
Is he in the main? Oh, all right. Yeah,
he's here.
Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, I did a backhand. Oh, here's a second chance, which I taught to Skepter, Caleb, and Patrick. Lucas is already aware of this, by the way.
So a second chance.
So it was a second chance rather than it was
Yes,
like
Skepter's aware of
writing.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So it was through
Lucas
an
is also aware
appeal
of
through
it.
Ken's DMs. So it was through an appeal. That's fine. Moving on from that. 5 days later, Skepter banned Lucusa again for using server hints in a community event or a CED event. Strangely enough, according to Lucusa's testimony, another person used server hint and didn't get punished. Now, if you want Lucusa to unmute and say that happened, he can. That's up to you, DT.
Lucusa, you said that Lucusa was...
Lucusa is my lawyer, so he's already here. Lucusa, is it true that somebody else used a server hint command in the CED event and didn't get punished, but you got a permanent ban for it?
Yeah, that is true.
All right. That's...
Objection, hearsay. Was evidence.
Is there any confirmation to this besides just witness testimonies? Is there second?
There's... Lucusa said he didn't have any proof that somebody else used server hint. However, I don't believe that permanently banning somebody for using a server hint in a CED event is just. I don't believe that's right.
Yeah, repeat admin abuse. A repeat offender will
Admin
always
abuse is
take
using server
priority.
hint once, Skepter?
Did he have permission to use the server hints?
No, but I don't see people having permission using server hint and CWs, and they do it all the time.
Yeah, as Ken has already stated previously, he was on his second chance, so any small case of admin abuse, of course, would be met with full reparations, of course.
A permanent ban
Also
for
an objection.
using a server hint in a CED event.
Okay.
After getting appealed for, I'll let the prosecution speak then.
All right.
Your
So we're arguing over the technicality of this. Skepter, you said that Lucusa had did something before, like something he committed an offense once, and in your mind, any offense the second time, like small or big, is warranting of a ban. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
Can I ask what his first offense was?
His first offense was bypassing and breaking Roblox TOS by saying sex through server hints. In reality, it could actually get the game banned for having such language, of course.
Right.
It was very lucky that he was able to be appealed in the first place. So
once again,
any small offense afterwards.
It depends on what the word sex was being meant as, right?
Can I place some proof in evidence?
Yes, you have the role to do so.
I mean, yeah, that's why he was banned. That seems just to me.
Why is the prosecution laughing?
I hadn't seen that screenshot. But anyway, we can move on from this. I've said my point.
All right.
I've said my point. Sorry, go ahead.
The defense would like to point out that earlier in this court case, the prosecution stated that it was simply just the word sex, and that there was no other context, and that it could have meant somebody's not gender, but sex at birth, which, provided in a context, would have been better. But as clearly seen in this image provided, this is very clearly not within that context whatsoever.
From my understanding and what I knew of, it was just the word sex. However, if that's what happened, then the permanent ban was just. However, this is not the only thing. If we move on, after the second time and the seeded event, Kin unbanned him again. Now, if you notice, I believe and I think Skepter has a tendency to give excessive punishments. Now, I'll point out another scenario of this when two Bavarians were banned for saying LMAO in a server hint. Which keep in
Objection,
mind,
Your Honor.
Objection,
Yeah, Skepter, go
It
ahead.
wasn't me who banned them. It was actually Pandas Doria. And the third person to be banned was given by the orders of Pandas Doria to ban them. So I had no involvement in deciding whether they were to be banned.
However, you were the one who banned them, and is it not?
No, that's false. I only banned one person. Pandas Doria banned the other two out of the three.
However, is it not that if it doesn't break rules, he does not have to follow orders? Is that not a thing? Or do you have to just do everything that is told of you to do?
Objection. He was not breaking any rules here. He was simply seemed like they were not breaking anything, which still haven't really appeared to break anything. It was just Panda saying, "Can you ban this person?" And it's clear that Panda's already banned two people prior, and Skepta just followed, not blindly, but following an order from a superior.
Right.
However, what if that order from a superior goes against any rules that we have in place? Is he still obligated to do that?
That would be a different scenario where there was an obvious
scenario. It is the scenario. Panda's ordered Skepter to go against something that's against the rules. He unjustly banned them,
Skepta
which wasn't against for.
My client clearly did not see that there was an issue with this. He probably didn't go up to. I will actually call a little witness here now.
All right,
Skepta,
go ahead.
did you go up to Pandas Doria and ask for the proof of their of why you should be banning them when he told you to ban them?
No, he did not.
There we go.
He did not provide Skepter. It's your testimony that he did not provide you with proof.
What I asked you, Skepta, was, did you ask for proof?
No.
No, because as it has been stated before, and as a jury general rule goes, is that people of high-ranking positions, such as Pandas, who's in the staff team, if I still remember correctly, that might have changed recently. I don't remember.
He doesn't have the official role, but you can continue.
Role.
Just like a member of high standing within the community. Yep,
As a member of high standing within the community with a high rank, when they tell their word is evidence itself. If it progresses itself. If the emperor bans somebody and says if the emperor bans somebody for exploiting and doesn't provide proof, is that an argument of did he break the rules? No.
Objection. He was given proof of this. He was shown the proof for this ban, and even though it wasn't against TOS, he still went through with this ban. I can show you that Skepter had the proof right now. I will post it in evidence. 1 second.
Skepta did not have the proof at the time.
Oh, no, he did. I DM. This was 10 minutes after the ban. There is Panda said, and then he follows up with proof of why he was banning them, highlighting the word LMAO. So Skepter knew. He was not oblivious. It's not like Panda's just said.
This was not provided by Panda.
It wasn't, because Panda's had the same thing. Panda sent me the same thing. He sent me the same proof
you
of ban.
provide that?
Yes, I can. 1 second. Let me find it.
Also,
since it's buried in my...
Your Honor,
Pandas did not provide me this evidence. I got it myself.
Also, Your Honor, what does this have to do with the case of corruption?
Because it's showing that Skepter is unfit for his role, as he cannot carry out just punishment.
Yet I was only following orders from Pandas, so how could it possibly be on corruption?
Because it is still your obligation to make sure it is a fair and just ban.
Are you accusing Pandas Doria of corruption as well?
I'm saying that, see, the difference is, Panda's made a mistake. You did not double check his mistake.
Why would it be within my duties to double check and him not to double check as well?
Because you are a member of the HICOM. That is.
He's a member of the HICOM just
If
as.
you're banning somebody,
Okay,
you should
okay.
know
Your
what
Honor,
the proof is.
Your Honor, can you not
see.
see this
Skepta.
hypocrisy? What?
I can see that the responsibility also does fall. It can't always be falling upon someone else to carry through. If this was issued by pandas and it was in fact unjustified, then that does fall on pandas. Right?
Very well.
Continue, please, Deimos.
All right. So now, if you will direct your attention to the screenshot on page 10. Now, this might be ridiculous. However, after banning Lucusa for saying the word sex, I believe this goes against Discord TOS. Skepta posted an image in
Objection,
public
Your
chat.
Honor. Look at the evidence. Look how corrupt that is, Your Honor. How is this even admissible?
So you think give a skeleton insinuating giving another skeleton oral sex is not against TOS?
Even if this was posted within public chat, like you said, which it was not.
It was. You can see the icon. You can see the response to spy tricks. You can see the night icon. You can see the color.
No. That isn't proof of public chat. It's just on the HRE server.
It can be from anywhere.
It doesn't matter. Skepta just admitted it to being in the HRE server. It doesn't matter if it was in public.
Different channels on the HRE server have different rules. Even if this was posted in public, this is not NSFW.
Your Honor, this image comes straight from a night chat. The night chat rules are different from public chat.
Are you suggesting that the night chat is an 18+ chat?
Objection,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Wait, no.
All right.
Is it? Are you
Your
saying
Honor,
that the night chat?
It is not up to the knights to decide what is within the allowance for what knights can say within night chat. That is up for staff team to decide what is just and unjust within what is allowed within a night chat within the knights chats. Therefore, we cannot give any statement on it.
However, if the Discord is not registering it as an 18+ channel, you cannot post things that can be either suggestive or just actual NSFW. You can't do that. Even if it's just suggestive, such as a skeleton giving another skeleton oral sex.
Objection. Skeletons can't get objection. It's not NSFW. Skeletons don't even have sexual organs to produce any NSFW content.
Your Honor, it does not matter. It's insinuating oral sex.
It's not breaking. Either way, I didn't post it in
it's against
public
Discord TOS.
This,
and it doesn't matter as long as the channel.
Discord TOS allows.
Okay, gentlemen. We are moving on. We are moving on. All right. The rules that are set in place in the server is set by staff team and management, as with under advisement from members of community of high standing. Yes.
May I add, if I did break a rule, how come I had never received a punishment from any staff team or moderator?
I will get to that, Your Honor, if you would allow me to
continue.
All right. Now I'll give another example. Let's talk about the case of Farrakhan 2016. In a Landschneck versus Saxon EPR, Saxon HRs were spam kicking Farrakhan. Every time he would try to rejoin, about 4 to 5 times in total, and then at the end, Farrakhan was fed up and decided to cancel this PR in agreement with the rest of Landschneck. He kicked everybody. He had the right to do this. As I said, Landschneck had agreed that they were going to cancel this PR. It's not. It is Farrakhan's testimony. It is Farrakhan's testimony and the agreement of Landschneck.
Bring Farrakhan to testify right now.
The screenshots are in the.
Screenshots are not testimony. Screenshots are evidence.
Farrakhan, are you in?
Farrakhan, are you here? To confirm, and does he have the affirmation of Farrakhan is here, and does he have the affirmation of Landschneck that the command?
Farrakhan, is it true that you were in agreement with Landschneck to cancel this PR, and that is why you kicked everybody?
Yeah, Landschneck didn't have a problem with me kicking everybody from the PR.
Thank you.
It was only Zach.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Totally can watch me on that. Totally really nice. The current colonel of Lancers can watch me on that.
All right. Thank you. So if Lanchnek did have a problem with Farrakhan doing this, I'm sure he would have been punished, first of all. So anyways, as we're moving on, the result of this kicking everybody in a PR that he had the right to cancel was a 6-month blacklist from all HR positions. That was done by Skepter Tavernick. Yet another example of his
Objection.
Yes.
Objection. This was another order from a higher up. This was an order from Zoknus while they was still general, I believe.
Is there proof of that? Can you send proof that Zoc ordered you to do that?
I
Or is that
believe
just
it was
testimony?
deleted.
Okay.
Going back to the Farrakhan thing a bit, Wordino was the Duke of this PR, from the understanding that I have get, so he could provide us with more context as to.
I believe it was Arison at the time.
Was it?
I think so.
It was not Arison Shadowed. This was very long ago. It must have been something like Word Search.
So it was Word Search. All right, Word Search. I'm giving you the. Let's just give you this one. Go ahead, speak in proof. Tell us, as you were the host of that PR, the context surrounding what happened. Make it.
I think Word Search is just kind of chilling here. I don't think he's noticed. But, Your Honor, it's hardly relevant at all. I mean, there isn't one host of a PR. There's 2 hosts of a PR. One for the Saxons and one for Lanchnecht. And as I said before, Lanchnecht mutually agreed to cancel this PR. So Farrakhan had the right to kick everybody. They didn't have to have the confirmation of the Saxons. You're allowed to cancel a PR at any time if you want to.
Your Honour, while this is true, but within this context, as Word is now currently testifying in proof, the kick message states that Farrakhan has written out, tabbed with an asterisk to write all the names, and it is written "kicked by Word Search, PR cancelled." It is quite clear that Farrakhan in this instance was not. While it may have been within his rights to say that he kicked people, Word did not kick anybody, and it is instead Farrakhan claiming that Word has kicked people from this PR.
That was a sarcastic comment, which was, wrong of me to say.
So wait, question. Who kicked everybody? Who canceled the PR? Who kicked it? Word Search did?
It's Farrakhan. In fact, Farrakhan tried to frame it on Word Search. This is
Word Search is saying right now. Well, the kick states I canceled it, which I didn't do to start off with, which I assume.
Could I ask when this PR was? Is there like a specific date to that log?
I wouldn't know, but Farrakhan could probably tell you.
Farrakhan.
Let me pull
Word
up
Search.
the date really quickly.
Word Search said he can get it. So I'm confused. Who kicked everybody in this PR? Word Search or Farrakhan?
I kicked everybody.
I'm not sure why you're confused or the one that brought it up.
Because Word Search is saying the kick states I canceled it, and Farrakhan is saying he canceled it. So who kicked everybody in this?
As you can see from the top, you can see that Farrakhan 2016 executed the command. So it was Farrakhan.
Okay, so it was Farrakhan.
And Farrakhan added the message kicked by Word Search as an attempt to frame Word Search for kicking everyone in the
Your Honor, that's hardly relevant. It doesn't matter if Farrakhan said kicked by Word Search,
I think it is very relevant.
Kicked by series. It doesn't matter. The fact is, everybody was kicked.
To hide it.
The fact is, everybody was kicked to cancel that PR.
Can I elaborate on that? That was not a concentrated attempt to try to frame it on Word Search as I have intelligence about like 90 IQ, so I know knights have access to the
relevance.
So they can you tone down.
Stick to the.
So in night chat, I knew that they could check it, so it was just a sarcastic add-on.
And even if it wasn't sarcastic, as Farrakhan just said, why would it matter? Why would it matter if he quote-unquote framed it on word search? He wanted to cancel the PR, so he kicked everybody. Why does it matter who he says kicked the person?
Because it would show intent that he wouldn't want to know that the other duchy was actually didn't want to end the PR.
Okay, they can see the night. They can see the box.
Objection. Witnesses can't object.
Yeah.
Yes.
Farrakhan, please just chill.
All right.
Again, objection relevance. It does not matter who he said kicked him. Because I had the whole duchy. It doesn't matter if you had the whole duchy complaining at you. The fact is, Farrakhan kicked everybody, and
exactly.
Skepter
You just
banned him
permanently. False.
Sorry, 6 months blacklist from all HR positions just because he canceled a PR.
Okay, yeah, that does bring me to our own point here. If you're claiming that this is completely irrelevant, and that since it was since both parties were wanting to were wanting to end this PR, therefore, and so the person giving the order, if you're saying that it was Word wanting to cancel the PR and Farrakhan executing the command, why does that same logic not apply here to Zoc giving the order and Skepter just following the order?
I mean, we've already established that Skepter was just following what Pandas told him, or Zocness told him.
Zocness told him. If we've established that, then
all right.
However, there's no proof that Zocness told him to kick him. It's just Skepter's testimony, which is fine. But the fact is that Farrakhan was 6 months blacklisted from all HR positions just for kicking everybody in a PR. For black, and he got blacklisted from all HR positions. That was done.
Your Honor, that is an absolutely reasonable ban for admin abuse.
Canceling a PR?
He did not cancel it with permission from the other party.
So you're saying Farrakhan? So it doesn't matter if he had permission from the other party. You do not need both permission to cancel a PR.
Right, but the technicality around here is was he allowed to ban everyone, and if to kick everyone is what I meant from the server, and why? If so, why didn't he just have the Landschneck leave? Because technically, right, the other side also came on their own accord.
Because it's the same difference. It doesn't matter if all Landschneck leave. It doesn't matter if.
Yet he isn't allowed to kick all of the. He's not allowed to kick any of the Saxons because they did not submit.
According to HRE law, you cannot kick everybody because they're not. According to HRE law, you can't kick other duchy members from a PR without confirmation from the High Command. Therefore, it's not allowed to actually kick everybody without getting permission from the Duke.
Even if you set up your own PR. You're not allowed to kick everybody and cancel it.
If you set up your own PR, you're allowed. If it's an internal PR, you're allowed to. But if you set up a PR, you're not allowed to kick other duchies people.
The other side.
Yes.
That's understandable.
All right.
That's understandable.
We've made that clear. We've made that clear that 1 second. Witnesses, if you're done testifying, please go back to the seats. Get off the stage. All right. So we've established very clearly that if it is a PR between both sides and it's not just within one division, you can handle what goes on your side, but not the other side. So in this case, kicking everyone was unjustified. Continue.
Your Honor, the defense would also like to.
What? Who is what?
That is Patrick, one of the lawyers who hasn't spoken.
Yes. Go.
Alright. Also, I would like to add that during the PR, the law that the other side isn't allowed to kick the opposition's members wasn't written. So, like, Farrakhan didn't know that it wasn't allowed.
Objection. This has been said many times throughout the years of HRE's existence that during events, etc., if you are not a knight or something like that, Those are in night events. You cannot use commands to do with just like how you can't cuff other duchy members, you cannot use commands to kick them.
However, it's a relatively new law that was just put in place.
No, it has been around for years, and it's only recently been written in law. Farragon,
Exactly.
who is a long-standing member of the Holy Roman Empire, would be fully aware of this, and so that argument is not really made of anything.
I disagree. I don't think
Former HRE captain.
I would also quickly like to add that the other side kicked Farrakhan as well. So both sides did the same
Relevance?
thing.
That doesn't mean.
No, it is very relevant. It is very relevant. That's
it doesn't mean that you get to break the rule.
The defence has brought their own witness to refute another point here. To add on to while you might say that you might claim that it is unjust. You might claim that it's unjust to kick everyone from the PR and kicking the other team. That is unjust for a 6-month ban. However, I have Arisen Shadow here, who was at that PR to testify at aspects of Farrakhan's behaviour throughout the PR. So, Arisen, would you please elaborate on Farrakhan's behaviour throughout the PR?
Yes. So basically, he was insulting and being toxic towards Word at the time, Duke of Saxony. He's also messing around, shooting Saxony members with a bow, which he also then stated in the server hints proudly that he did that, which wasn't.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. It doesn't matter what Farrakhan did. As just stated, another division is not allowed to kick another division. The Saxony HR is not allowed to kick Farrakhan.
This testimony is not to do with the end, with the kicking. This is to do with Farrakhan's behaviour throughout the PR, which adds on to the kicking and adds on to the relevance of the punishment and how just the punishment is due to his behaviour. Continue, Arisen.
As Word also stated in my DMs, he said he was teabagging and that we asked to kick Farrakhan as well. I don't know
if that is true. I'd like to see proof of it at least.
Even if it is true, the fact is that you are not allowed to kick without the permission of, as said, HICOM.
All right.
So the Saxon HRs were not allowed to kick Farrakhan.
Gentlemen, we are moving on. We have already both sides have already established the reasoning. Now we're just going too deep into the technicality of things. Deimos, please continue.
Now, the last thing I want to add on to
witnesses, remove yourself from the stage if it's not important. If you're no longer a part of the testimony, please.
Now, the last thing that I want to add on is Farrakhan has tried to appeal this blacklist 3 separate times, all of which were turned down because Skepter made the joke that, and it was obviously a joke. However, it's quite ignorant and an unprofessional way to handle it. He made the joke, "Nope, you voted against me. You're one of the ops."
Objection. The context. The context here is completely not shown. The context.
The context is shown. If you look at the screenshot, you can see that.
That is a very small fraction of the context. The state here, "Nope, you voted against me," is a jokey statement about the the votes that were cast out about people's opinions on certain members of HICOM. Furthermore, if you reach this place in public, which I can actually share the message link of the message that is shown in proof, if I can be given access to the proof channel.
Yes, I will give you that right now. Defendant. You should have access.
I've just been given it now. As you can see there, and if we all scroll up, it says given Bohemia having a roleplay revolutionary phase, give them some time. And then that's when Farrakhan says, "So true, remove my HR blacklist." And as this is a jokey thing here, as if we scroll a bit further, Sinking Viking saying, "Why is Bohemia so quiet now?" Bohemia's response is, "Bohemia having a roleplay revolutionary phase, give them some time." Farrakhan comes in to join in the joking with "So true, remove my HR blacklist." And then you've got Obscuriatus Excalus. I probably butchered the saying there. Guess I'll be new Bohemia Duke to put them together. Again, further joking. And Skepta saying, nope, you voted against me. You're on the opposition. And then scrolling down. And then further jokes from Obscuriatus Escalus, saying, if that's the case, it's you versus the entire HRE.
All right, so I'm guessing that
despite the fact that this was done in a jokingly manner, it still stands that Farrakhan has tried to appeal his blacklist 3 times, and each and every time,
objection. Where's the evidence for that?
down.
Where is the evidence for that?
Farrakhan will
has there
tell.
been 3 appeals made, and is there proof of such attempts made to lift
the defense would not like to question the existence of these appeals. However, the defense does dispute that that this proof is supposedly showing corruption towards the outcome of these appeals.
Could you bring up Farrakhan one more time to testify about how he did try to appeal 3 times, and each time Skepta
Your
has
Honor,
denied it?
Objection. I feel it's irrelevant to the case.
I feel it's relevant as it's furthermore, Skepta, even though Farrakhan has been gone for a very long time and recently returned to this community, he wouldn't remove his blacklist, even though I'm sure Farrakhan is deeply sorry about what he did.
Well, we don't need to ask Farrakhan here for this instance of questioning. We can ask Skepta. So first off, Skepta, are you the head of appeals and reports?
I am the deputy head of appeals.
Who is the head of appeals?
Let me just confirm real quick.
I believe it's Pandas.
So even if he is the head, it comes into question: is it just? Is it right for Skepta to not appeal his blacklist after serving almost his entire time?
Your Honor, may my client actually find the log of this these appeals, rather than just immediately insinuating that my client is the one who has
granted, granted.
This. Yeah.
$116 viewers in the audience. Long day.
Note to the audience: make sure you stay hydrated.
A little too cold in London.
It seems I can't find the transcripts for the appeals, but I can testify that I do not remember at all having any appeals specifically sent to me, at the very least.
All right. We will take that. I will accept that testimony. All right. Desmos, please continue.
All right, if we would move on to page 12, I'll say yet another example of Skepta. Banning or not banning somebody in this case. So this is in regards to Bacon Zolt Hola Donda Estas FD, which was recently banned, and that's the reason a lot of Bavarians are banned. So as you can see in this screenshot, it is proof that Skepta didn't ban somebody that knew about Bacon Zolt. So if you look at it, Skepta says, "How did you know?" referring to Bacon Zolt. And the person in question says, "Because he was acting just like Bacon. I knew Bacon for quite some time, yada yada." And Skepta replies, "Okay, I won't ban you because that is iffy." That is iffy? It's iffy that this guy knew about Bacon's ult and told Skepta he knew about Bacon's ult?
Objection.
Objection.
Don't do it. Yeah.
As the proof shows here, this is just thinking. Skepta said, "How did you know?" This is both sides here are speculation But it's very plausible that there is a difference between knowing and thinking. Crocodile
No,
here.
if you can,
may I speak, Your Honor?
Yes, Rocket, you may finish.
There's a difference between knowing and thinking, and Crocodildo here said that he was acting just like Bacon. I know Bacon he's well known for spamming face.
Objection, Your Honor. If you look at the bottom of the screenshot, it shows that this guy knew about Bacon's ult. So at the very bottom, he says, "Was it Bacon's ult that they hid?" Because if it was, I'm telling you, no one knew besides me. If it was other ults, then not something I know about.
Objection, hearsay.
That's not hearsay at all. It's in the screenshot.
What he's saying in the screenshot is hearsay.
He says he's knowing that it was Bacon's ult, and you didn't ban him for that. You didn't ban him for knowing about an ult.
Yes. What exactly does that mean?
But because you banned Lores and multiple other people for knowing or allegedly knowing about that same ult. So
the reason why they were banned were for trying to cover up the fact that the ult existed and were purposely trying to hide the existence and the identity of the ult, while this person here just happened to know who the ult was or may have been.
So why did you not?
And there would be no reason for me to even believe that they actually knew, and they weren't just saying that right now to seem.
He quite literally said, Your Honor, that he knew about this ult. But moving on. So onwards to the wrap up of this entire document. These screenshots show more than just a coup. I believe that they are evidence that Skepter is an untrustworthy and unjust Highcom who will do anything he can to gain power.
Objection, speculation.
This is not exactly speculation, but rather this is not meant to be what you believe, as in this is meant to be facts.
Facts and evidence. Deimos. Facts and evidence. Continue.
Very well. Then all the wrap up is just me saying what I feel. So that is all until I can dispute Skepter's evidence. Which, by the way, DT, will I be able to send you the doc that I made against Skepter's evidence? As you said, we'd be allowed to.
You can present counterclaims will be presented in court.
All right. So I assume that's after he presents his evidence, right?
After, yes. All right. Deimos has finished his closing statements and everything. We will now move on. I know this was highly unusual, but we're already wrapped in it now, so might as well finish it. Skepter, you now have the floor to refute anything.
Your Honor, the defense would like to confer with each other about.
Granted. The court will take a 5-minute recess. Mingo, you can open the chat again. If anybody speaks of anything regarding this case or do a peanut gallery, I swear to God, it will be more than just another channel lock. I will lock this channel for good. Okay? Please do not speak of this case. Mingo, IT department, please moderate it as you can. You guys, how's your days, everyone? Going well, I hope. Pretty cold out. We are minus 11 degrees Celsius all the way over here in the US, which is where I'm currently at for a couple days. Again,
Jesus, dude, what state are you in? That's negative 11
Celsius, but Massachusetts, yeah.
Oh my God!
Back to visit. Coldest state that Boston has ever seen. I'll tell you that much.
Aren't we supposed to have a huge cold wave in most of the US?
Oh yeah. You know what? Yep. Oh my God. Hold on. I may have to. Okay, my car ride's not here. I'll still be here to listen and provide evidence. It's just signal might cut out.
I believe that it was negative 50 Fahrenheit in some parts of the state at one point.
Oh yeah. You know why?
Gosh.
Because it's like it's not climate change, but it's climate change. That's all I'll tell you. It
Well,
is
that is what climate change is, right? It's not just global warming.
I like how they stand from a court case to like a discussion about
Hey, we're
climate
in
change.
recess, right?
We are in recess. It's quite cold. What is happening in Massachusetts? It's
I
called
hope you get.
it's
I
called
hope
winter.
you guys are like ready for waiting another 1 hour.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Do you
All right.
usually go to like Massachusetts? Where are you from?
Yeah. Well, I lived in Asia. I was born in Asia. Then I lived in Georgia for a bit, and then came to Massachusetts, and currently studying in the United Kingdom. But back home because I have family and stuff, and I am preparing to ship out to the U.S. Navy, which is why I have sent in my retirement notice.
You ready for that?
Oh, yeah, I am. As ready as one can be. All right, so I'm
That's gonna be
assuming
rough.
Rocket. Are you guys back in the server yet? No, maybe. Oh no, ping me when you're ready, please. To
They're
continue.
not in. They're not
You're
in.
not
yet.
in. All right.
No. Never mind. The Green Rock is so.
Yes, Ali Doria, of course it is. What is this do? Mingo, can you remove the 6-hour cooldown? I just left that because I didn't know how to lock the channel.
Yeah, I removed it. The people who spoke during the 6-hour cooldown is screwed.
Alright, just give them a roll or something, just make it happen. Alright, we will bring back the defense to make their counter claims, all of them. Alright. Skepter, so as a simple case recap, you stand accused of corruption and abuse of power, and the evidence that you provide to the court will be used to refute said claim. Having said that, you and your defense counsel has the floor.
Now, this is going to be the opening statement. Normally, how court works is open statement, then another opening statement, and then we give our general arguments and refutes. What seems to happen is a bit of an odd one, but generally, our opening statement is that the client has not abused power and is not corrupt. A lot of our evidence is centered around the recent Bavarian ban, to quote a message from the Knights, a mafia. Is the best it's how I'm going to describe the term and we will be proving that here with because a lot of the corruption comes from this recent Bavarian case. We'll do the exact same thing that the the prosecution has done by posting our entire document here, and we'll run you through it. The document pertains to all evidence of Deimos Nox's acts of corruption, free ranking, and cover-up of an alt with Loris Escalas, Lucius Escalas, Ben Cool 163, and Iron Games FTW. Bacon. I'm not saying that whole one. Hola, donde estás, XD. There we go. Just need to read a bit of Spanish. So, we will not be immediately moving to Exhibit A here. We'll be refuting the first half of the argument from Deimos's point, which is the coup. The coup has received a crown pardon from the emperor, and while at the end of the document against Skepter Tavnik, it has been said, even if Skepter has left this coup in the past, it shows intent of not that part. Odd. That's gone. Interesting. It was saying that if Skepter, even if Skepter has received a crown pardon, Skepter should not. This should not be in the law. It shouldn't be in the court, and that it still doesn't question the corruption due to Skepter manipulating, I believe, befriending, I believe is the words. Yeah, I remember the word befriending, but it seems to not be here anymore.
I believe what you're looking for, Green, is at the bottom of my document where you can see.
I know, I've looked at
Your
the bottom of the
Honor,
document.
Your Honor, may I just say the prosecution has been actively altering the evidence throughout the case, I believe.
I have not. I can
Or
prove that I haven't.
past
Can we
the
look at
deadline
the
period.
document history, please?
Yeah, I can give you 1 second.
Hand over the document history. Put that, share that in the proof with.
So I'm very bad at reading sometimes. I have found what I was trying to find.
No, yeah. Green, just scroll all the way down so you can see.
Yeah, I was at the right place. I was just reading through it and just couldn't find it.
So do you still want me to? Do you guys still want me to show, like, edit
Go
history, or
ahead.
are you good, Green?
If you can print that off if you want and post that in. I'm just going to continue with my points here. And that is to befriend Caleb and control Caleb so that Skepter cannot be punished for whatever he does. That, while, yes, it is speculation, it's speculation. And from a recent court case of the Monarch Doria's legal challenge to the HRE bloodline cap, in the dissenting opinion at the end of the paragraph, it establishes that, having said that, an order from the Crown itself cannot be overridden. Therefore, the whole section of Deimos's argument of the coup is completely irrelevant to the case, since it is a direct order from the Crown that has been pardoned and is not.
Objection, Your Honor. While it may have been pardoned, it does not mean you still shouldn't take into account that he did plan it.
The point is that that it has been pardoned, therefore it shouldn't be taken into account. And if one were to say that, well, it's a court of law, therefore everything should be taken into account, it's been said in the past in this case number 16, Monarch Doria v. HRE, HICOM, it is saying an order from the Crown itself cannot be overridden. That is written in the court logs and is the law. So, in terms of
all Caleb did was pardon Skepter of being not guilty of this coup. So yes, Skepter is not guilty of this coup.
I'm just
but that does not mean he didn't conspire, and that does not mean he didn't do it. All that means is he's innocent of planning that coup.
I'm just gonna put this out there that the pardon only stands for the perceived coup, and everything else is still fair game. Just so the defense and prosecution.
The defense has no argument that the pardon is for anything but the coup. The coup is solely the point of the pardon, and it is the thing that needs.
All right, Counsel Rocket, you may continue with your argument. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
Thank you, Honor.
Yep.
We were expecting, due to how this case was meant to be and how the case was presented to be, that there was going to be mention, and I believe there was mention, of the recent mass banning from Bavaria. Now, it's been claimed that there is no proof, and I'm now here to dispute that. If you look at Exhibit A1, we can see no cropped image here. A plot, to read the subtitle, plot with spy tricks to stack a duchy with super corrupt friends, quote, end quote. This ends up being Bavaria. To read the exact thing, I'm just going to need to zoom in a bit. This is on October 15th, 2022. Deimos Knox is saying, "Spy tricks, are you going to retire from Duke soon?" And Spy tricks responds, "Depends. I have goals I want to reach, and I am close to completing them." Deimos responds, "Lamau, HRE is so incredibly boring to me that I want to pull a Doria. And stack a duchy with super corrupt friends, we'd never get caught for real, but I don't suppose you'd want to risk it, even if you finish your goals." Spytrick says, "I would like to stack a duchy, but not with the corrupt part." Deimos says, "I just want to kind of pull a Doria, how they did in Brab. I told Patrick the same thing, that we should do it before he retires." Spytrick says, "You mean like what the cats did in Bavaria?" Deimos says, "Except actually efficient like Brab. Every Highcom was Doria. Only reason they got called out for corruption was because they were all the same bloodline. If we stacked duchies with friends, nobody would notice, and we would basically get control of who gets Duke via that. This is clearly showing a pattern of planning and behavior of attempting to have control of a duchy's Highcom. That, which is why there was the large banning of people such as, and I have a list here. I'll just need to grab that in a second.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance. Just because I said that I had planned on doing this, there is no proof that I had actually done this.
I don't see how that's an objection of relevance.
Because it's not irrelevant to the Bavarian bands and how that you
It is
claimed we were
Bavarian
corrupt.
bands. It
Rocket,
established.
are you going to get to that? The relevance of the.
I believe I've already stated the relevance here. The relevance is that what's happened here. Sorry.
However, me saying I was going to stack a duchy with corrupt friends does not mean that I did that in Bavaria. In fact, most of the people that I knew in Bavaria, I wasn't friends with beforehand.
As I've already stated, this establishes a pattern and precedent of behaviour of wanting to achieve this. And if it would be claimed that this is speculation that he only wanted, the argument is within that first image there. It wasn't just want; it was an idea of Lamau Atri. So boring to me. I want to pull a Doria. He wants to do that. It's something that is wanted to be done, not no matter what. That's speculation, and I'm not going to say that. But as set here, this is what then happened. Lucis Escalis, obstruction of justice.
Objection, Your Honor. That's speculation. You can't say that that's what happened.
That it is what happened. According to the current law, according to before the result of the court, they are currently banned for that. Therefore, that according to the law is what has happened.
We were banned for corruption and knowing about an alt, not for those screenshots in particular.
You don't know why you was banned.
The alt is proof of this idea because the alt is, I believe, Bacon Bunner's alt, and I will now read out the punishments of people here. Lucius Escalis was punished for obstruction of justice. So that's the this is the cover of the alt, etc. Laurus Escalis purposely manufacturing toxicity in a duchy, harboring alts with full knowledge, which is corruption. Olodonte Stas XD, which is alting. Bencool 163 assisting in cover up of an alt and free ranking. Deimos Nox harboring an alt with full knowledge, conspiracy, attempting to create a corrupt duchy. Iron Games FTW, obstruction of justice, and recruiting alt with knowledge. And if you want, and Deimos, if you want to claim that that simply saying that you want to do something doesn't mean it doesn't actually happen. If somebody sends death threats to somebody and is around their area, wow, would you look at that? They're most likely going to be arrested and well, they're going to get searched.
I wouldn't compare death threats to this screen. I think that's a very big difference.
I didn't.
But first of all, the first part you said about stacking a duchy with corrupt friends wouldn't make sense in this instance because I'm not friends with Bacon Bunner. In fact, I've never known him, and I had no prior knowledge that that was his alt. In fact, I had only learned that that was his alt after Lors got banned and after he was banned. And I can prove that by showing proof and evidence if you would like me, DT.
Yeah, counter arguments. Go ahead.
Well, I would like, Your Honor, I would like to request that I'm able to make my points fully without being interrupted without a valid objection.
You can finish that first. Yes, go ahead.
I've just been confirmed. Following on from that, Iron Games FTW, obstruction of justice, recruiting alt with knowledge, as well as Scala system at the cover of world, simply Scala system. These two were unbanned. In a large case like this, there is going to be minor small mistakes such as Aureus and simply as here, which Skepter has stated in things that I cannot show. I'm not allowed to show that evidence because of attorney-client privilege. But he stated that these two are unbanned. Now, I don't believe that the point that I made was irrelevant, of sending death threats and then being in an area. This is simply a way to inflect it into a different mindset. If you send death threats to somebody, and then you appear near them, and you get searched, and you have some sort of weapon on you, you will be arrested because it is conspiracy to murder. The same thing has happened here, but just in a different sense.
Your Honor, if you could, sorry for interrupting, regarding the evidence that I didn't know about Bacon Butters All, if you could direct your attention to proof, there's a screenshot proving that I didn't.
I won't respond to that right now. I'll continue with my point here. With what's happened here, it is the inflection of it, but just with corruption. It is stating that you plan on trying to create something which is corrupt, and that you want to do that. You want to stack a duchy with friends, but guess what? Plans change. You're not always going to stick to the same thing. If you say you're going back to the death threats thing, if you tell somebody you're going to drown them and then you shoot them, plans change. Simple. And what's happened here is
I still would not compare killing somebody to a Roblox game. I get the inference, but I believe it's not a good comparison. And like I said before, I had not known about Bacon Bun Result beforehand. So the whole point of banning me for knowing about Bacon Bun Result,
objection.
It's very relevant.
There is evidence in the document that shows that Deimos Knox knew about the alt, or at least had high suspicion that they could have been.
I would like to see that.
The defense would like Your Honor, the defense would like to request that we're able to finish our arguments before counter arguments are made. If we are to call witnesses, we will then objections can be brought to those witnesses. Speculation, we are happy to accept objections or speculation, but if we can actually finish our arguments without some relevant arguments to do with the knowledge of the alt, it would like to not happen.
Continue. Green, please. Yes, we'll save the counter arguments until after the argument is made, unless it is. Yeah, go ahead.
So, as I was trying to say, you were given, as it is seen within the law of HRE from what has happened, Deimos was planning on, wanting to create a corrupt duchy, and then when given the opportunity to, with this alt situation, and probably prior. However, that is not confirmed. It probably was prior due to the nature of it, which Skepter will probably go. I can ask Skepter to go into detail with that later if necessary. What has happened here? Wanting to, being in the area, same with the death threats being in the area, and then being searched. In this case, this was the arising of an alt, which caused the search of Bavaria. In a death threat case, is the search of a person for a weapon. And once both are found to have massive issues with the weapon, or in our case, the alt and the free ranking which has occurred, which led Skepter to continue on to establish justice, search for evidence, provide evidence with staff team, gain evidence from staff team, which we haven't been able to show due to intense editing of blocking out names and stuff that staff team does, generally with cases such as this. It shows that this is the pattern, and that is what has happened. And Skepter, would you like to go into more detail about this? I was not personally on this case because I am retired from the knighthood, whereas Skepter, he was the acting man.
Well, I would like to start off with the fact that Deimos 100% knew that this person was an alt. So if you'd like to go and observe A31.
A31, yep, we're on it.
Yep. You'll see that the alt, it's the person with the emoticon that is shrugging and has Kratos as a profile picture, that is now banned, of course, is talking about, just talking in public, and Deimos responds to them, "We love you in Bavaria." Now the alt says "Raw," which is apparently a meme or something that Deimos knows of, and something to do with Bavaria, right? And he questions, "Oh nah, who are you? How do you know the memes?" This clearly shows that he suspected that this person isn't who they truly are meant to be, because they knew information that they shouldn't know as a new player.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
This actually proves that I didn't know about the alt.
No,
it shows
let me
that
finish my let me finish my point. Let's move on to the next.
Let's Skepter finish. Let's Skepter finish. Go ahead.
All right. So then, okay. So he says that this is evidence that he didn't know, but he still had more time to suspect. And not only this, but XC Rebuff in the next evidence, A32, XC Rebuff tells Deimos he is an alt. His Discord was made on the 15th of January 2003. Deimos replies, "I know," and then sarcastically says, to make it seem like he doesn't know, I don't know anything. This 100% shows that Deimos had full reason to suspect, or at least know, that this person wasn't alt after being told by XC Rebuff, after realizing themselves that they knew something that they shouldn't know as a new player.
Finish your argument and then, please. And then we will hear Deimos' objection.
Okay, well, my argument is finished now.
All right, Deimos, go.
So the date that Rebirth was speaking about, let me pull it up real quick in his thing. So the date that Rebirth was talking about was the 15th of January 2023, as you can see in that screenshot. However, that wasn't when Hola's account was made. Hola's account was made, let me show you a picture, so you don't have to look it up on Roblox. That is Hola's account. I'll post it in proof right now. Hola's account was made 7/22 of 2021. It wasn't made the 15th of January in 2023, or like Skepter tried to say in that screenshot.
Objection.
I didn't say that.
The witness
Rebuff
stated
said
that
that.
the account, the Discord account, was created on the 15th of January. In fact, I can pull up the exact timestamp of which which the account was created. If the court will give me a second just to get my thing up.
Granted.
As Skepter has claimed, which is fully true, and I don't know why you tried to question this. The account in question was made on the 15th of January 2023 at 11:57 a.m. 46 seconds into it.
Oh, then I didn't know he was speaking about the Discord account. In fact, it is shown in the screenshot that I didn't even know. Even if I had suspicion of him being an alt, if he passes the background checks that are required,
relevant. What?
Then quite frankly, it doesn't matter. His account age was fine. His badges were fine. His friends were fine. He passed every background check that we have in Bavaria.
Objection.
Okay.
Objection.
Yeah.
I had no way of knowing it was an alt.
The prosecution has literally admitted to knowing that it is an alt within the screenshot. There is no excuse for allowing them into the duchy.
It was said sarcastically, Your Honor, and as you can see in proof and evidence, you can see that Laura says, "Now that I'm banned, Hola was an alt," and I said, "You're an idiot. Now Skepter is going to say I knew about this and try to get me banned." I did not know about Hola being an alt until after both Laura's and Hola were banned. That is when I found out, and
the screenshot that's provided clearly shows. It's up to your interpretation, but it's clear to anyone reading this with a brain that he clearly knew about the alt.
Your Honor, I'll ping you. I just pinged you in the screenshot just in case you can see. That was when Lors and Holo were banned. Lors told me after the fact, and now Skepter's trying to claim that I knew about that ult, which I didn't, Your Honor. I will let them proceed with their case. However, it is not true that I knew about this ult.
Your statement will be put into the court's consideration. But as for the evidence provided, it is also pretty close to interpretation of what is said and what isn't said, which is why it's a reminder that everyone should be careful about what they're saying, because all of this could come back to bite you one day. Continue, please, defense.
Well, I would like Green to take over for my my representative.
Okay, well, now, while most of our evidence pertains to the issues surrounding the recent case in our defense, it's a tricky way to move on here. We've got the pardons here, and we've given our statements against the original openings here, which is why, due to both time of the court and I'm sure there's a lot of people who would rather be able to get other stuff done in this time. Well, this is a significant case. However, the defense would like to request, well, for the conclusion of this case, the defense would like to request a little thing called a bench trial. Do you require me to give grounds for?
I'm pretty sure this was already in precedent as a bench trial. Do you want it to be closed door, meaning we usher out the spectators, or?
We are fine with open door. I believe Skepta was on the under the we as
this has been a bench trial all day. This has been established as a bench trial. You don't see jurors. You don't see juror chat. It will be decided by the court, and the decision will be passed along to the staff. But we have already been given the affirmation that the court's decision will stand without any interference in regards to anything that. Yeah. So basically, what I just said.
Well then, to quote, to actually bring up something from our DMs, Your Honor, you stated that we would get as much time to respond as Deimos. We've actually gone under that, and we believe that we do not. That while we've both sides have given out arguments, and we've refuted quite a few arguments of Deimos's, and I'll quickly summarize the refutes for these. So for pages 1 through 7, 8 for pages 1 through 8. 1 through 7. We had there's a crown pardon there for Skepta's blight on HRE. Skepta has been nothing but negative for the entire community of the HRE. While that is speculation, there's also plenty of evidence to show that no, Skepta has done plenty of stuff helping the HRE. Skepta leads is the overseer. The overseer for the he oversees the overseers of all duchies, and that is responsibility to make sure that those overseers are keeping the duchies in check. Skepta has been running the tournament organizer team for a long time, and Skepta, while the blight here has been claimed that he does nothing good for the community, Skepta is the one who added the duchy sniping as an offense, preventing the breakdown of communication and trust between duchies, ensuring harmony and prosperity between the different divisions of the Holy Roman Empire. Skepta clearly, my client here, would clearly not want to be attempting to. Well, not my client wouldn't be corrupt in this instance. My client has shown a pattern through his work throughout the years in the Holy Roman Empire of not being corrupt, and there's no real evidence of him being corrupt that doesn't have a valid argument against it. Again, with Skepter's blight on HRE, a good instance of Skepter imposing unfair punishments on people is him banning several Bavarians for corruptions that didn't do anything at all. Again, there's plenty of evidence. If you look in evidence 4.02.23, you can see there's plenty of evidence which showcases people's knowledge, etc., which shows clear corruption. And if they didn't do anything, then I will. I believe I don't remember.
Can you repeat where the evidence, where that like previously mentioned evidence is?
It's just the whole. It's the majority of the evidence 4.02.23, which is the whole document. The majority of the document is based fully around around a defense against. It's proving the guilt of all the I believe the majority of the people involved within the case, which apparently proves Skepter's corruption, which is stated in Skepter's blight here. Oris Gallus said, Oris Gallus, blah blah, you're safe, etc. He was unbanned, and said, why did Skepter ban him in the first place? Question mark. While that is sort of more of a presentation, it's quite clear that Skepter banned him in the first place because it's a massive case. There's no case where there will be a perfect solution every time. Massive cases have accidents, they have slip-ups. The case of Kara in October of 2021. Kara was banned for a wedding which supposedly happened, and then was unbanned at a later date and reinstated. Is that not the same here with a different thing here of Aureus asked screen share and said
objection, Your Honor. It's not the same thing. Chara appealed it. The wedding did happen, and it did break TOS. However, in this case, 2 people were banned who had no proof against, such as Arius and Simply. They were both banned, and then, as you said, Skepter unbanned them. But it's not right to include those people in the case without sufficient proof. You can't just ban people with zero proof or anything in regard to them being involved in this case. Arius and Simply, and I will later dispute all the rest of the proof that he used. But Arius and Simply were entirely innocent, and he banned them anyways.
I would like to point out, so first off, Alidoria in general, if you're on the document, I believe you're on computer. Mobile, you won't be able to see any kind of document clearly, but if you hold down control and zoom in, you'll be able to read it clearly. I can quite clearly read it once zooming in. It's just due to how Google Docs work. Second off, Google Docs tend to not work very well whatsoever. Skepter can place any evidence and proof if you would like him to, like he has there. Now, Deimos has now said that because Aureus was it Aureus? I just need to
it was Arius and Simply.
That Aureus was because Aureus and Simply were innocent. Why were they banned in the first place? Well, the thing is, Kara was also found innocent, and
he was not found innocent. He appealed.
Kara did not appeal. Kara did not appeal. There was,
and it was a clear breach of TOS as well. And then once again, isn't relevant to this case, as Chara was one person. They were singling out one person, and Pretty technically, if you want to get into it.
Stick to the basis of the case. Yeah. Stick to the basis of the case, both sides.
Yeah. However, it's not relevant to this case, as it was multiple people.
Inflections.
Basis of this case, counsels, lawyers. Basis of this case.
Yeah, Your Honor, this is simply an inflection of what happened, and in response to that little statement there, as a person who dove into the TOS at the time, which was updated the last time in May before October, it stated that experiences which showed events such as marriages were the ones that are against TOS, and experiences in Roblox nowadays, and then is meaning the games themselves, because games couldn't be called games anymore, and they were called experiences. And that is why innocence was there. Now, if we continue on here, he did this with multiple people, including one other known as Simply Scarless. These people have been unbanned. In massive cases, there will always be small slip-ups, which are then rectified, which is what's happened here. If I write a document and I make some mistakes, I correct my mistakes later on. If I've made some spelling mistakes, I correct them. That's the same thing that's happened here. Skepter has enacted justice and realised he's made a few spelling mistakes in this instance. Those were with air quotation marks, but there's no camera on this. There's spelling mistakes in this instance, the banning of 2 people wrongfully, and they were unbanned, rectifying justice. And Skepter's unjust bans, history of permanently banning people who didn't break the rules. There wasn't many permanent bans here. We've had there was the whole TOS thing, which is a violation of TOS, as we've proven with the context earlier. Again, the night chat stuff there.
So my question is, if Simply and Arius were unbanned, why did they not get their ranks back and their divisions?
Well, that is.
I believe that was a directive from the staff that until the investigation and in this case the trial is finished, nobody is to be reinstated until everything is cleared up. And
that's understandable. So the real point of pointing out that Arius and Simply were banned before having prior proof was to show that Skepter isn't fit for his job. Now, to add on to the case of Farrakhan, Skepter, you said that Zoknes told you to do such. Is that correct?
Objection, relevance to the current argument.
It is relevant because of the fact that
argument.
it is because we're talking about Arius and Simply, and that moves into how Skepter isn't rightly banning people and having sufficient proof for these things.
Your Honor, the prosecution is grasping at straws here between relevance.
Deimos, what's the point that you're trying to make here?
Well, Zoknes is here, and he has said that he did not tell Skepter to do that. That's the point that I want to say.
I have DMs here with Zok from today stating, well, before I got the date wrong for the first time.
All right, both sides. If you have counter arguments, evidence, you can pump it in proofs, evidence. All right.
Or if you would like to give Zoknes plaintiff so he could type in proof and give you his testimony himself.
Granted.
He can't talk in VC currently, so that's why I'm asking.
As it has been stated here, it says, "Yes, wait, my bad. I still don't remember." This was quite a while ago, and specific things like giving orders, which is what Zok did for a lot of the time. Zok did a lot of work and did a lot of thing. Yeah, exactly. So Zok's just messaged me again. That order, you're forgetting that thing. Still don't remember that order. It was a long time ago, and Zok, who was very busy, following things like me being on IN, etc., when I was also working alongside him, it is important that the court recognises that it's been a long time and that things will have been lost. As people know, there was a massive data wipe throughout the Holoran Empire due to the server getting nuked.
Your Honor, if you would like to check proof, that is Zoknes saying he doesn't remember, and he said, "I never ordered him to do so. I don't remember me saying that." And then Zoknes saying, "I never gave him an order. I gave you the whole. I gave you the whole DM."
Zoknes has clearly stated that he does not remember because it was too long ago to remember specific.
He also clearly stated that he never gave him the order to blacklist Farrakhan.
This is mixed evidence.
So you're saying it's Zok contradicting himself? Is that what I'm hearing?
He says he doesn't remember giving him that order, so it's not. He says he can send something. Well, what can you send, Zoknes?
Zoknes here has again said, "I don't remember giving him that order." Zoknes is busy. I was busy. While I was busy, I also had to go on IN because I had personal things to deal with, and Zok had a lot more things put down onto him that I was in charge of that were then handed on to Zok. Zok was a busy man and then later retired on
All right, Zochnus, I have given you the floor. You can explain the context surrounding your.
If you look
Your
in
Honor,
evidence, you can see what he's saying.
Your Honor, new evidence has come up with displaying the order. It is not here is the order.
Zochnus.
At Skepter Tavnik, can you deal with this? And then Wordino said, Farrakhan has been AAing, printing out the evidence that we saw earlier. He's been kicking me mid-PR as well, after I kicked him for being toxic, plus leaving the main H3 server. Thank you.
That's what Word Search said, but Zochnus never ordered him to blacklist Farrakhan. He said, can you deal with this?
Which was following admin abuse as well as kicking during mid-PR.
Zochnus did not order him to ban him for 6 months.
Gentlemen. Zoc, you can type. Please clarify what you meant by this order.
Your Honor,
what is
he
prevented?
just said it. He just said it, Your Honor.
You never gave him that order. Okay.
So it was entirely up to Skepter's discretion whether or not to blacklist him for 6 months. And it was also
Your Honor, was the evidence? Your Honor, may I speak?
Your Honor,
may the prosecution let me speak? Yes. So, if I am presented with a screenshot from a superior, can you deal with this where someone is claiming that this person is AAing with clear evidence of everyone being kicked from a PR? It is only within reason to follow the H3 offense trial, which says to remove someone for 6 months from all positions of power. I was simply only doing what was within reason. I did not go any further at all. And what exactly would you expect me to do in such a position if I'm asked to deal with it?
On Skepter's jurisdiction,
If Zochnus didn't want me to blacklist him, then he should have specified.
No, he didn't specify anything. That's the thing.
Well, the thing is, further on from
it was to Skepter's discretion what he wanted to do. It was his job to find evidence about that, even though, yes, he presented a screenshot of
it's not
Word claiming that.
Okay, all right.
It was Skepter's responsibility to look into it.
Objection. It's not Skepter's responsibility to look into it. The order clearly stated, can you deal with this? There's a difference between looking into something and dealing with it. Clear evidence has been given, as well as backing up something that you claimed was irrelevant earlier, saying after I kicked him for being toxic. So that's now Wordino and Arisen both claiming that Farrakhan was being toxic and was kicked for being toxic. And then he came back and then kicked everyone. Farrakhan has been AAing. He's been kicking me mid-PR as well.
I'm gonna shift gears back to Deimos. The evidence that you provided, like the screenshot of what Zochnus says, are you sure that's Discord?
Yeah. What about it? Well, you can see what Zochnus said, right? I mean, right here. Look.
Yeah.
1 second. Yeah, I've just pinged you on what Zochnus said. He said, "But did I order him to ban him for 6 months?"
Okay, just making sure. Regardless, all right, we will shift gears back to the main point. The defense, please move on from this exhibit and resume the previous said argument trying to be made. Go ahead.
Myself?
Rocket. Yeah, aren't you leading the? Yeah, go ahead. Moving on from the Zochnus thing. Shifting gear back.
I believe that the defense will rest now and would like to push towards a close for the judge's decision on this.
Right. Everybody, I'm sure that you all have a lot of places to be. I appreciate you sticking through the whole 2 hours worth of this trial. Due to how big and weighty this decision is and everything that is being considered, the decision will not be made on a whim's notice. Sentencing will probably be rescheduled either later tonight or early tomorrow. Having said that, court is adjourned for the time being until we can get everything set up. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
all. Yep, you all are free to go, and
Long live the Emperor.
Long live the Emperor.
Good
Good
evening,
night.
Your Honor.
Good night,
Everybody
everyone.
have a good day.